Hello, my great role-playing tribe. Welcome to another chapter of the Warlock's Basement, El Sótano del Brujo, but now in English. I was talking to some of my friends in Reddit, okay, and they told me, hey, Brujo, why don't you do some of your episodes and chapters in English, not only in Spanish? And I said, oh, sure, why not? I'm going to give it a try, no? So please pardon my accent, okay? English is not my main language. So, what I want to talk about today, okay? Like I was saying to my friends at the DCC RPG subreddit, I am completely and totally in love with the OSR movement, the old school Renaissance movement. And I'm the kind of guy that completely and absolutely loves all kind of fluff material for it, okay? You can also see that I'm also a very avid fan of DCC, of Dungeon Crawl Classics. I totally love it, but I also love, you know, small RPGs and games that give like people like me access to a lot of material, to a lot of histories of personal creations, and that is part of what I have always enjoyed about the old school Renaissance movement. Okay, and here in Latin America, okay, I don't know if you know about it, but down here it's a bit hard to get. To get access to core rule books for any kind of role-playing games, gaming materials. It's not very common. I don't know if it's about the culture, okay, and especially I'm currently living here in Panama, and Panama is a very small country, so you can do the math, okay. Not many people are interested in that, but there is a very good and healthy community of people down here that love to play role-playing games. So I have slowly approached some of the local friendly gaming stores. Most of the stores down here, they usually just play Magic, okay, and they sell cool stuff. The classic cool stuff like Funkos, like I don't know, like figures and figurines for Marvel Universe and the classic comics or anime, and well, there's not many people down here that I have known personally. Of course, there might be more that play role-playing games. So I decided, to join. There's a program by Goodman Games that I absolutely love, and it is called the Road Crew. Okay, the World Tours and the Road Crew events. And to make it short, if you don't know about it, to make it short, you go to the Goodman Games page, and you just create an event, okay, into their event calendar. And I said, why not? Why not do it here for Panama? Okay. I know there's a lot of people in Brazil that play. I know there's a lot of people in Colombia that play. I don't know that many people that play down here in Panama, so I'm slowly trying to find them. I know there are some very good groups here, but they usually play at home. Okay, so I said, I love old school Renaissance. I love old games. I love DCC, and I said, I'll try to approach one of the stores here that has been extremely friendly to me. It's called Ismo Games, and I personally met the owner, Marlon. And I told him, hey, can I come here? And, I'm playing. And he told me, hey, no, yes, we do all Thursdays. We do here like an open event for people to come and play board games, to come and play Magic, and also to play role-playing games. So I have met some of the people that play here, and I'm talking to them. I realized that the groups tend to be small, okay, and this is like my effort to try to inform the local community and the Spanish-speaking community, so that you will see in my channel that I have a lot. I have a lot of videos, mostly in Spanish, okay? Well, one of my friends, like I was saying at the beginning, told me, George, why don't you do it in English? I know that you can speak English. And I said, well, sure, I will try, no? I said, yeah, no problem. I'm going to try. So this is my first ever chapter or episode in full in English, and I hope you guys like it. And Of course, if you like it, please subscribe. I will try to make also a more or less weekly video in English too. So if people have show interest, I will continue doing it. So I decided to make my first video in English to talk about something that perhaps is all news to some of you, but for me it's not so all news, and for me it's also one of the books that I think I love the most about the old school movement. Okay, the old school Renaissance movement, which if you don't know about it, it's like this online movement of people that want to go back to the roots of role-playing games, okay? And as you can see, I'm an avid fan of role-playing games. I have been playing games for about here in Latin America, which is a completely different story from what I have seen to people that play, for example, in Europe or in the United States of America. And I have been playing for about 25 years, okay? Mostly in Venezuela. I'm a Venezuelan expat. I had to move for a lot of reasons here to Panama about 10 years ago. And I decided, to keep playing here. I met some people, some groups, it was fun. But eventually, work, life, family. And right now I'm trying to go back to what I have been doing. I've been playing on and off over the years, but right now I just want to make this like I was telling to some of my friends. I want to make it like something more permanent, perhaps in YouTube, so that other people can know about it. Okay, that's it, that there's a very healthy community in South America. I know that a lot of people from the United States usually, the groups there are also sometimes small, so that they do not feel so alone in the world, because there are a lot of people that play here. There are a lot of geeks down here, people that love everything that they love too, and that's part of the wonder of the hobby. That's part of the thing that I really, really enjoy about the hobby, is that no matter where you go, if you go to Italy, if you go to the United States, if you go even to, I don't know, to Germany, or, several countries that for me are very far, you can always find a gaming store that sells role-playing games. And I say, oh, wow, that's something that no matter our backgrounds, how different they can be, culturally, linguistically, you can always find someone that fully enjoys the things that you do. And for me, it's role-playing games. There's a lot of people that enjoy Magic the Gathering, for example, and that's good, that's amazing. But for me, it has always been about role-playing games. And perhaps they're showing people from abroad how we do things down here. I don't know. And try to entice other people to see all of the things that we do here that honestly are not that very different, okay, just in a different language and with different foods and beverages as you play, okay, but in the sense almost the same. Essentially it's the same thing. What is different is, like I said before, it's just the language. In case if anyone is wondering, and they're here in Panama, I am currently running all of my world tours at Ismo Games. I'm going to place the address down there. I run these sessions. I'm running like level 0 funnels. They're at the store, and they're fully in Spanish. But if anybody that is in Panama and they want to go there, since it is a public venue, you can go, and I can also do it bilingually. Okay, so you can have fun playing DCC down here too, okay? I'm talking about a lot of stuff because this is my first video in English, so I want to say give you like a brief picture of everything that I have been doing down here. And what I want to talk to you about today is this particular book. It's a book that I really like. And best of all, it's completely free, okay? I order my own copy, okay? And it is called Petty Gods, Petty Gods, very small gods, very little gods, Petty Gods. And if you have not read this book, if you do not own it, and why not, it's completely free. I'm going to get the link down here. I'm going to tell you, give it a try. Give it a try. This book is amazing. It is one of my favorite books. If you can see my review of this book in Spanish, it will be exactly the same. I totally love this. I love it, and I believe it is one of those things that in the hobby is just beautiful, completely beautiful. Why? Petty Gods. It's a book made by a lot of people, people like me, people like you, okay, that enjoy the hobby, and they decided to create like a whole pantheon, like a whole completely theological cosmology of petty gods, okay? And you say, okay, bro, what's so great about it? I'm going to say, oh my God, how can you ask me that? It's amazing. It's completely amazing. If you get this book, and you are going to get it, you will see that it is simply and completely filled pages after pages after pages of all kind of minor godlings, okay, petty gods, and of things so petty, like I don't know, like a god of the lost, for example. Every time that you get lost in a dungeon, you get a chance of finding the petty god of people that are lost in dungeons. Okay, you can get petty gods of, for example, there was one that I really enjoyed. It is a petty god of people not only that are lost, but of people that, for example, that get like small little ideas to swear at other people. It was a bit bizarre for me, okay, but I found it extremely funny because it's like a petty godling that just tells you a lot of things and forces you to say bad things to others, like being completely honest if you hate them, and then that's funny. That's funny for me anyway, and I cannot express in words enough how much I like this book. It's completely fit with all kind. Like there's a god for trash, for discarded items, for lost items in between cracks in the walls or the floor. There are also some very nasty gods, okay, like a flatulence of stuff. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's also interesting. There's a particular god here that I truly I felt captivated by it. It was like a petty god of. It was in ancient times a bigger god. It had a lot of followers, but then the city that worshipped it was destroyed, and then he slowly dwindled to nothing. Okay, so right now it's like a shadow of its former self. It is now a petty god, almost forgotten by everybody, and he lies there in this forgotten city, and it was like a bit sad, but the story about it was it got to me, okay, personally, and like that there are hundreds of petty gods here for everything. And this is a book that I always try to recommend to others. Even if you do not like fantasy, I don't know, playing role-playing games. If you like fantasy, you are going to enjoy it. You are going to truly enjoy it. Some of the stories are very good, are also quite atmospheric, and you also get on this free book. It's completely published for free. I printed on demand, okay, on Lulu, and you can see that it is also a very good book. It pays homage to the old format of the back day of the glory days of Dungeons and Dragons, because you can see like the format is very simple. It gives you like a petty god with the name, okay, the alignment, some of the stats of the petty god, because they're so petty that adventurers are very prone to finding them by chance or by DM fiat. Okay, you can place all of these godlings in your in your current playthrough of anything that you are doing, and any kind of system, and they are not really going to upset much of the campaign balance or status if you are worried about that. And I believe that some of them can actually give a lot of flavor to your adventures. Okay. One of the things that I also like about this book is that it is not only petty godlings. You have like a small section at the end, which is like followers or guardians or favorite creatures of these petty godlings that you can add. So it also works like a small monster bestiary, okay? And also it has a lot of ideas, which is what I truly, truly enjoy about the creative work of people that enjoy this hobby. Okay, it has a ton of ideas. So some of the gods are, I'm going to be honest, if I would rip them literally off the book to play into some of my campaigns. That good. I really find this book extremely rich, extremely full of flavor, full of ideas, and that's one of the things that I always tell my people in Spanish usually, is that I really enjoy these kind of things, these kind of creations, you know. And also because this book reminded me a bit of I don't know if you ever played old Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in the second edition, which is a bit, it's very old, but it was a system that I enjoy a lot, and it had some very amazing books back in the day, okay, which was for forgotten, which it was called Fates and Avatars, and you know this particular book for me was like wow, back in the day it was for me like an eye opener, you know, having like a whole book dedicated like the old manuals, which I never had because I started playing about in '95, if I remember correctly, and the old deities and demigods. It was way back before my time because it was in the '70s, and I only managed to get those books much later. So for me, my first introduction to books that portray gods for any kind of campaign setting was this one, and I love it. I completely love it, and it was amazing because some of the gods of the Forgotten Realm setting are extremely amazing, very good. Some of them are actually quite entertaining. So when I found that. The community decided to make like a small book like deities and demigods, of which this Forgotten Realms one was based off, and I said, oh my god, I have to watch it because I love everything about about divine pantheons in worlds, and because well for me I always tend to lean towards clerics and toward wizards, and that's why I like, for example, about DCC all of these the patron mechanic, okay. And for me, this book was like a throwback to the old days, like a bit of nostalgia for me, okay? Also because, I used to play a lot back when I was in Venezuela, so there's also some kind of emotional attachment to that. And when I had to flee my country and I had to go somewhere else and abroad and start over all again, some of these books, particularly this one, it turned my mind to other matters. Okay, just to stop being to not be so angry or so attached to things that I cannot change. I decided to have some kind of private space for me, and these kind of books, and particularly this one, helped me a lot because it had so many good ideas. And they had so many pantheons, and they had so many good articles about how to create your own pantheon. And some of the little godlings here are extremely funny. Okay, some of them are also extremely dark and grim, and in particular, and this is why I was telling you about this particular minor godling back in the day that I read about. Some of these are godlings that are now so petty because they have been forgotten. I know that kind of like resonated with me personally in some level, and I got a lot of love for this book. So no matter what language I'm going to make any video, I think I'm going to always recommend it to someone. What else can I say about this book? What else can I say? For me, it's amazing. Also, like many of the things that portray how the old school Renaissance movement is that it is completely free. Somebody decided not to charge for it, and I say, okay, wow. So why not? Not only is it completely free, but it's completely full of value that goes beyond the monetary, and so I always tell people, read it. Just give it a small glance. at random. You don't even have to read it like alphabetically. You just grab any kind of the god and begin reading. You're going to find at least one minor petty god that is going to be completely fun to you, or amazing, or interesting for you. Okay, and this also, I believe, for me, encapsulates part of the old school Renaissance movement, you know, and for me, every time I try to play, I tried like perhaps because I already have over 2 decades playing role playing games. I always try to grab to have a chance at recreating some of my first D&D experiences, for example. You know, as we grow old, it's not the same the way you enjoy role playing games. Okay, when I started and I was younger, you know, for me it was, let's do all this magic, and then I want to be raising levels and I want to destroy everything. You know, it was very fun. And that kind of naivete and innocence on my part, I always try to recreate it again. And for me, all kind of materials that take me back to that time. You know, you can call it nostalgia. I just call it recreation of a particular moment. It can be almost the same, but for me, it's like reliving over and over that particular amazement at knowing that you can play something that is completely made up. You know, but it takes you away, even for a small amount of time, takes you away from your own life, from all of your troubles, from everything, and then just gives you like peace. For me, role-playing games have always been about mental peace, you know, peace of the mind, because I completely disconnect. When I am a dungeon master or a judge in DCC, or a game master in or a lab, in every time I play in any other kind of role-playing system, I detach myself from myself, and then I just am this guy that enjoys role-playing games and wants people to have fun. Okay, so for my first video, I decided to, you know, make a very small, a bit biased review, of course. I'm not going to lie. I just love this book, okay, and just try it. Just try. I'm going to give you the link down. I'm going to place the link down here, so you can give it a try. If you already have it, hey, good for you. Hope you enjoy it as much as I did, and it's completely. It's a book of treasures, for example. It can be a book of godlings. It can be a book of small creatures. It has a lot of everything. It has something for everybody. And it's like the basis for me that creates something that is good, okay? And this is why my first review is about this particular book, and in English, and what I want to portray to everyone that is listening to me right now is that I think I'm completely lost in my fascination and my love for role-playing games. They have been the only constant during all of my a bit life of my life in turmoil. Okay, it has always been one of the constants of it. You know, playing role-playing games, because it completely detaches me out of reality. And that's good. It gives you, like all good hobbies, it gives you a time to, you know, to chill out, to enjoy yourself, to do not think about tomorrow or yesterday. Just enjoy the moment. And that's part of the magic. And that's why, for example, part of that magic for me is in this book. Okay? And of course, in all of the things that are related to role-playing games. I don't have anything else to add. But I hope that you have enjoyed this video, okay? Pardon my English, okay? It's not precisely my first language. I can read and write, absolutely. Speaking is more or less so. More used to just writing. Also, welcome to my channel. I hope you like it. Please subscribe, okay? I just want to show some of the wonders of role-playing games to people, you know? I was talking to one of my friends, and he told me, you know, bro, what you have to do is try to make this passion that is your hobby, try to give it to someone else. And I have to say thanks to that friend, which is Alex. If you're listening to this video, please know that you are always in my mind. He's one of my former players. He was the one that gave me this particular idea. Also, there are several other friends that have told me the same over the years, and I think that this is a good moment to start doing it, because when else, you know? And if I want to give like a positive experience or message to this video, is that if you want to do something, okay, in role-playing games, just do it. Do it. Don't be afraid. Go out to a store, play, go online, go join a Discord server. Just do it. Just do it. Because you have to enjoy life. And if you are enjoying it through role-playing games, amen, you are one of my tribe, my great role-playing tribe. And if you can do it, friend. Do it. There's nothing that can compare to the feeling of having an amazing session with somebody, and on which you share in a table story, be it virtual or physical. It doesn't matter. If you share a good story with someone, you have created something else. Okay, you have created something that is even if it's not perfectly tangible or physical, it really has a real repercussions in your life. And this is something that I like about this. I'm telling this because I'm also a psychologist, and a part of me, part of the reason that I have always enjoyed this is because it lets me be with people, and in a sense makes me drain some of my anxieties or my fears. And every time I'm playing, I feel completely free. And I know that a lot of people do the same, feel the same. And that's part of my message to you. Just do it. Just play. Just play, enjoy a good game. It does not matter the system, if it's D&D, 5th edition, 4th edition, Labyrinth Lore, Pathfinder, Dungeon Crawl Classic, it doesn't matter. Just play. Because that's one of the beauties of playing. And if you're watching this and enjoying the video, I know that you're understanding what I'm trying to say. And trust me, down here, it's the same. People down here in Latin America play practically the same. They enjoy the same stories. Yeah, and that's part of the beautiful things about this particular hobby, is that no matter the country, you can find someone, this great role-playing tribe that shares all of these wants, these needs, these ways of enjoying themselves and having fun. And that's something that goes beyond any kind of language barrier, of any kind of nationality. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have dedicated myself so many years to this. So many years, and to the point that even my wife tells me, "Oh my God, you're going to buy another book?" I say, "Yes, I'm going to buy it." I'm the guy that loves physical books. I know it's not possible sometimes, but I also buy some of them in PDF. But having like a book, like a physical book, for me is one of those small joys. Okay, I know it's usually not practical to bring them a lot of books to the table. It's easier with a laptop or with your own table, with your own tablet. But I love the feeling of physical books. And if you can buy it on print, it's totally worth it. If not, just get the PDF and read it, okay? Get it, read it, please. You are not going to waste your time. It's very good. It's amazing. So, well, I'm gonna have to say now goodbye. Again, thank you for listening, and I hope, depending on how people react to this video, I think I will begin making some extra videos in English for everybody that wants to know more about it. And to show others, because there was a time when someone in Reddit asked me, how did we play down here Dungeons and Dragons? I said, dude, the same way, we just roll a dice and we have an adventure. He had a hard time figuring out, because it was in Spanish. Oh, it must be, no, I say it's the same, it's completely the same. There's nothing particularly different. Just like I say, it's the beverages, the music that you can hear in the background, and the language, but it's completely the same. And that's kind of cool in a way, because I'm going to be honest, I have never played with anybody in English, except online, of course, but physically, never. So that's something I had to take off my bucket list, to play to go to Gen Con. I have never gone to Gen Con, so perhaps I'm going to say go to Gen Con one of these days, and see if I can play with somebody in English, see if it is completely different. But honestly, from the things that I have played online, it's the same. Honestly, it's the same. And not in a bad way, no, totally different, totally opposite of that. It's the same, and it is as good as playing in Spanish. Though I have to say that perhaps playing in Spanish there are certain words. Okay, that's something that I can talk about in another video, because there are certain words that are completely funny when you try to translate them, and especially some of the names of certain NPCs or the name of certain gods. They usually do not translate very well in Spanish, but that's something else. That's more like some small trivia. But again, okay, I'm overextending myself. Thank you for listening. If you like the video, please give it a like, and remember, subscribe. Bye.